Alright, listen. You might want to grab some popcorn or some snacks. We're gonna be here a while, but you might as well get comfy while you're at it. So, let's go!
Pikachu!
Sonic Speed!
Woohoo! So a lot of people have been wondering what the main objective beyond saving Peach will be in Super Mario Odyssey. What I mean by this is, what are you supposed to do in each world? Is there some specific goal you're supposed to achieve in each individual world, like stars and shines were in previous games? Fans are speculating and are hoping that stars do come back in Super Mario Odyssey in one way, shape, or form. And above all else, from what I can think of, I think I want stars back the most. But other fans will ask why? What makes stars so special? Stars are a bit of a mystery in terms of their popularity, but I think some understanding can be met with a little observation and analysis. In Super Mario 64, power stars were a key objective in every level of the game. They restored power to the castle, unlocked sealed rooms, saved Toads, and gave Mario strength and passage to confront Bowser as he gathered more. It was enough mystical, fairy tale-esque charm to make Mario feel whimsical and magical, let alone the fact that each world would be accessible by jumping into the paintings spread out throughout the castle. In Super Mario Sunshine, stars were altered to Shine Sprites, the source of power of Isle Delfino, the vacation spot Mario and Peach travel to in that game. Also, I'm likely going to be calling the Shine Sprites stars because I'm bringing up the fact that you could get 11 shines in a level later on, except I call them stars instead. In order to restore the power of the Shine Sprites and restore Isle Delfino's power, as well as clear his identity because he's been a victim of identity theft in this game, Mario goes out to find Shine Sprites throughout the locales of Isle Delfino through pipes, painted portals, cannons, and even around the game's main hub. In Super Mario Galaxy, they return to their original form, but instead of power to the castle, the power stars of the universe and grand stars of Rosalina's Comet Observatory were stolen by Bowser and used for his galactic reign, leaving her observatory stationed in the middle of space. As Mario gathered them back up, as well as the grand stars, it restored power to Rosalina's Comet Observatory and would soon allow it to travel across the stars and to the center of the universe where Bowser was holding Peach and his empire. In Super Mario Galaxy 2, they acted similarly as Bowser stole them again, and Mario used those stars for Starship Mario to travel across the universe and get to Bowser and save Peach. Due to the familiarity and odd charm, fans are asking for power stars instead of flagpoles, but some fans may misunderstand this and think, well, stars aren't that different from flagpoles, aren't they? And that's really not the case. With flagpoles in the 2D Mario games, they were simply the goal. You start a level, get to the flagpole, and move on to the next one. It was footing from getting to point A to point B. That's one of the reasons people didn't favor Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World as much as the other 3D Mario games. In Super Mario 64, Sunshine Galaxy, and Galaxy 2, it's not exactly the same scenario. Sure, stars were ultimately your main objective. You start a level, get to the star, and unlocks more levels, and you move on from there. But the thing with most levels in those 4 games is that there wasn't just one star you had to go through. There were a lot of instances to where there were 1 to 11 stars in a level, and some cases where it didn't matter what order you went in to get them. Due to how immersive and large-scaled those 4 games were, having multiple stars within a level encouraged exploration and complemented the large open worlds of those games, even beyond the collectibles within those games. Then what about Captain Toad Treasure Tracker? Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is a different case, as that was a spin-off game based on a few extra levels in 3D World. It was a puzzle game where your main objective pretty much was get to point A to point B. Power stars were in that game, but they were more so treated like flagpoles. You could argue 3D World did have explorative elements to it with the larger scale levels compared to 3D Land, and the star medals and green stars and stamps you had to collect in those games in order to progress. But with Power Stars, not only do you have that nice blend of large open worlds and reasons to explore them, it's also unfair to compare the two, you know? Like, if I had the choice to go to a flagpole or a star, I'm obviously going to go for the star. A long vertical pole where you reach the top, go to the bottom, and take down your enemy's flag, or an object that inhibits magical power and can be used in a variety of ways that also looks cute, bright, charming, and shiny. It's like comparing apples to oranges. There isn't much room for comparison other than their sole purpose and the brand of food which they are, and that is their fruits and their purpose is to be eaten. But with stars and flagpoles, the only comparisons they share is that they're your main objective and the purpose is to reach/collect them. But with stars, there's more to it than just finding them. There's also different means of obtaining them as well. You could simply hit a block on this location dimension. You could reach a certain location in a level, race someone, do time challenges, comets, daredevil runs, collecting red coins, collecting 100 coins, beating bosses, finding certain people, collecting certain objects, doing secret levels, and more. And there are even hidden stars and shines where the game doesn't tell you how to get them. You gotta find them on your own without any help, and that just complements the explorative aspect of 3D Mario games even further. There's a variety of ways to obtain stars in Mario games. Stars help support this momentum and flow Mario games tend to share and inhibit. Not only are stars adorable and charming, but they also encourage exploration within the level. There's a multitude of ways to find them, and they would ultimately make the experience more fun and more challenging. Alright SMT, you explained there are reasons to include stars or some form of them, but how would they fit in Super Mario Odyssey's story? How can the motive be collecting stars if you want them so badly? Of course, we don't know the whole premise of Mario Odyssey, just that Mario has to save Peach and stop Bowser's wedding. We'll likely know more at E3, and hype surrounding the game will ramp up 100-fold by that time. But I have a theory of how stars can slip into Super Mario Odyssey or some variation of them. I pretty much have a theory in what the story in Super Mario Odyssey could ultimately be. So this video will shift different topics, so be careful if you get thrown off even a little. Now let's discuss my theory in Super Mario Odyssey's story and how stars could play a role here. Bowser was able to take the Power Stars again and take Peach, but Bowser's thought to himself,
"Every time I try to take over the kingdom, world, or universe, or even get with Peach, Mario always gets in my way. I have to think of a way to make sure he doesn't catch any leads on me."
And do you remember those bunnies in the trailer? What if they somehow teamed up with Bowser and are using him and his army and strength for some ulterior motive they have in stock? And it is common knowledge that bunnies are naturally quiet and fast. Either that or Bowser hired them in some way, or underlings akin to the Koopalings. But they help steal the stars, are able to take Peach on their own, and lead some sort of stealth operation to kidnap Peach and steal the Power Stars. But Bowser also thinks to himself,
"Okay, I have the power to take over again now that I have the stars and Peach. But Mario could easily guess that it's me. I'll have to relocate somewhere, someplace he wouldn't think to look. And this other location could serve as a proper empire under my rule."
And what better place than a world he's never been to before? Super Mario Odyssey does take place outside of the Mushroom Kingdom, and even though Bowser stole the Power Stars from the castle and space in the past, he could very well be getting Power Stars from around the world, or from another source. And that other source is another idea I have in mind, which I'll mention in a second. Mario eventually finds his way into New Donk City through the sewers, possibly via a pipe that's new to him, which the bunnies could have also used to get to the Mushroom Kingdom in the first place, which could explain why he popped out of a manhole in the beginning of the trailer. Mario eventually stumbles upon the Crazy Cap shop, and in doing so, it could lead him to meeting with whatever took over Mario's hat, whether it be a bunny, a live cap being called Crazy Cap, or some other being we don't know about. He/she takes over Mario's cap, gives him the cap platforming abilities, and even has a ship ready to sail around the world. Why the cap will want to assist Mario is because Bowser's their common enemy, as Bowser and those bunnies have interfered with his business, which could also explain why everyone, NPC and enemy alike, wears caps and there's chaos throughout the world. Also, that other source of star power could be from Crazy Cap. That could explain how Bowser and the bunnies got all that star power, why all his minions are wearing hats of some kind, why they inhibit powers based on the hats they wear. That could also explain how the Wing, Vanish, and Metal Caps have their special magical powers from their past games by using the power of the stars. This could also help and support the possibility that Mario's potential cap-based power-ups that could very well be in the game has those powers based on the number of stars and collectibles you have, and that star power is how the company manufactures those hats. The mean-looking bunnies could have some beef with the company, some behind-the-scenes story we don't know about, involving the stars, Bowser, and the Crazy Cap that's in Mario's cap. In doing so, Bowser's managed to gain power over this world and has taken it over. But wait, New Donk City has humans in them. Explain that. Gladly. Do some of you recall humans walking in New Donk City, fading out of existence, and taxis possibly looping out of thin air from the edge of the streets? Also, how this city looks like it's on top of one giant skyscraper and the taxis loop around over and over around the same street? I think New Donk City could be a facade created by Bowser projecting fake humans, and that could help support why there are taxis and only taxis on the streets, as that's the only vehicle you'll see, and some loop around the same streets over and over. And I could be going overboard here, but hey, this could give Nintendo an excuse to say this is why we have real humans, this is why they fade out of the blue, this is why taxis are the only vehicle in the city, and why they loop endlessly, because this is an illusion created by Bowser with the power of the stars, and he made them to fool any intruders viewers, aka Mario, into thinking this is a different normal location, and the reason you see Bowser's royal wedding being advertised is because he already took this world over and is rejoicing. This also explains why his enemies raid the city at night. You see Goombas wearing hard hats along steel girders and tanks shooting at Mario at night, and all of Bowser's advertisements for his wedding throughout the city are visible throughout the night, whereas you don't see them in New Donk City in the day. When Mario and his Cap gather a power star within New Donk City, he's able to power the hat-shaped ship you saw in the trailer, which could explain how Mario gets around the world, like how Starship Mario got around the universe in Galaxy 2, and this ship belongs to Crazy Cap. Bowser's reign could have some explanations in why Cogwald, that mossy metallic structure within a dome, seems abandoned because its advertisement portrays it as bright and interesting, unlike its actual damp, gloomy, mossy state of living. His reign and abuse of power could explain why the robot caterpillar knocked Mario off the building in New Donk City, why his enemies roam the ruins of the desert and the polygonal food world, why the pyramids could float in the air and presumably into space. And some people have theorized that the moon could play a part and be connected with the bunnies because the moon is surprisingly huge and present everywhere you go, and this could be enough substance to have the right to include Rosalina in the game as well, or the possibility that Yoshi's can inhabit this world as well, or the possibility of Luigi wanting to assist his big brother. Okay, I may be getting ahead of myself, but to solve some conflict between the Crazy Cat business, the bunnies, the being within Mario's cap, which could also be a bunny, defeat Bowser and save Peach from his wedding, Mario must travel to an unknown world and do what he does best: run, jump, and stomp on his enemies and explore the world. Now obviously whatever I say here may not happen at all, but hey, it's only a theory, a Super Mario T theory, my dudes. I mean, I was just super excited of what Mario Odyssey entails. Thankfully with Super Mario Odyssey, its main focus is bringing Mario back to his roots. With even the 4 colorful worlds shown off in the trailer and those purple objects you could collect that just enhance the exploring experience even further, Super Mario Odyssey has great potential of becoming one of my most favorite games of all time, because it's Mario in the one and only form that was universally loved by gaming fans of every spectrum. Mario gaining total 3D control of his vast sandbox worlds and exploring the wacky, colorful, magical, lighthearted, and fun universe of Super Mario. Games like 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, and Galaxy 2 are universally loved, especially 64 and Galaxy due to their sheer purity of its movement mechanics and in turn its overall game design. Running and jumping may be the basic building blocks of a 3D Mario, but they're combined in such a complex, complementary way to create a double helix of perfect 3D movement. Controlling Mario exactly the way you want is paramount to mastering the game, and between all the hops, kicks, triple jumps, long jumps, wall jumps, backflips, and other moves, there's almost no limit for overcoming obstacles and reaching your goal, whatever and wherever it may be. And seeing Mario return to this form just feels super refreshing. With what seems to have the longevity, scope, and influence and replayability the first 4 3D Marios had, I genuinely cannot wait until Super Mario Odyssey comes out. The development is inhibiting Mario's core, as stated by Miyamoto, and my core childhood is brimming with excitement, even as days, weeks, and months pass, slowly leading up to Odyssey's release, and especially its big unveiling of what's to come at E3 alongside Sonic Forces. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you like my theory? Do you support the idea of stars coming back, and do you think they have a fair shot? Do you support my theory? Let me know down below. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to subscribe and stick around for more things Mario Odyssey, Super Mario as a whole, and other things gaming related. If you want more Odyssey hype build up, check out my other videos, and if you wanted some Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces hype, check out my Sonic videos as well. But I thank you for taking time to watch this video in particular, and whether you want to watch my other videos, it's up to you. Take care of yourselves, have a great weekend, and stay super.